Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Okay.
I feel like the first like 90 seconds, anytime we hit the record button, Flarrick's just going to ruin it for the rest of our lives, isn't he?
Yes.
This is the way, yes.
This is the way. And this is Grand Sumo Breakdown. Welcome. This is Ryan.
This is Jake. You're off your rhythm, aren't you?
This is
It
Flarrick.
works.
And
It
this
works.
is Mac.
And this is our 2023 popularity poll results show. We're getting to it in record time, I feel like, after a couple years ago of not doing
It's
it
still
at all.
2023.
It's still
It's still 2023. We're doing good this time. Even though I was away at a work conference last week, still managed to find time to get this all filled out, even though I got COVID immediately after and due to my work conference, fought through the sickness. We're ready to go.
Yay.
Speak for yourselves.
Yeah.
I am currently dealing with a sick me and a sick baby, and like we're talking like the kind of GI sickness that like
Ooh.
the kind that makes you.
Is Jake going to be taking breaks throughout the episode?
No promises.
Okay.
Oh,
No, just it's the kind of I was in bed until 3 p.m. today. Like it was the kind of
Oh.
sickness that like made me worry that I hadn't completed my living will yet.
Yes.
You know, like it's rough. It's real rough over here.
And that
Yeah.
just goes to show how important this episode is to all of us here at Grand Sumo Breakdown, that Jake is fighting through that because he knows what is on the line. Because like last year, throughout this episode, I'm going to be asking questions regarding the results of this polling, and whichever one of these three men gets the highest score will earn $20 of my money to be spent at
Ryan's money.
I forgot about this.
SumoStore.com. Yes, I will buy you 20. I'm basically giving you a $20 gift card to what is it, like BigSumoStore.com? I think I have a sticker
Big Sumo
literally
Fan.
on
Yeah, Big Sumo
BigSumoFan.com. Yeah, I have a sticker of it on my laptop.
Shameful.
It is shameful. So let's dive right into it. We're going to start by revealing our top 10 Rikishi. Actually, before we get into that, thank you to everybody who filled out the popularity poll. I know I did it. I know Jake did it. Mac and Flarrick, did you do it? Flarrick!
Nope. I did not. I think when I went to go do it, you already closed it. I was like, what the hell? So I was
That's
like,
not-
He
was
left
like
it open for a while.
A week after I'd sent it out to the public,
It
which was
open,
probably like
man.
2 weeks or a week and a half after I sent it to you.
well, I didn't get a message about it was well,
Flarrick,
actually
it was
might have
posted
been-
everywhere.
I didn't
There-
remember a message. Come
Including
on now.
in our private Discord that only includes us four.
Yes,
you think
it
I
was in
read
the
that
video for the recap. It was on Twitter.
Oh, look at that. He
Yeah, yeah.
acknowledged it even with a react emoji.
stuff? Oh shit. Betrayed by my own emoji.
The Discord doesn't lie.
Yeah, funny enough, it's the betrayal emoji.
Okay.
Should have
That's my
known.
favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting
very
until you see that
forward-thinking
when you
of
don't
me.
know what that looks like. But yeah, no, it definitely makes sense looking at it now.
Okay.
So-
yeah, no, I guess I just did not get around to it. But so this will be a Flarrick less poll. So this would be great because I can just complain like a bunch about it. Because
Sounds like
Well,
my
if
odds
I
just
had
went up.
voted, this would have
all these
gone.
other people.
So no, we got a total of 948 responses. This is the second
Whoa.
most responses we've gotten all time, and it's a 56% increase over last year when we only got 607 responses. So probably good on us for getting it out better and advertising better.
But better on you, our fans and listeners. Thank you so much for making your voices heard.
Absolutely.
That's
So
most, I think, of the people listening filled it out, if that's the case.
Yeah. absolutely. So thank you, everybody. This-
At least half of you aren't lazy.
At least half of you.
you're better than GSB host himself, Flarrick.
Well,
this
if
Well
our
done.
fans have
Finger
like a
gun.
better than like what maybe a little bit more than 50% or something. I don't remember where the math is at. GSB hosts have a 75% hit rate. So they got I
So-
think the listeners have a little ways to go.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Pick it up.
And this is my favorite project every year to really dive into. So I appreciate everybody that helps give me all this data to dive into for about a week or two in December of every year. So without further ado, let's get into the top 10, where for the second straight year, we actually have a top 11 because we have a tie at number 10. And those first two are going to be Teruno Fuji and Tobi Zaru, who are tied for 10th in this year's favorite Rikishi poll, both of them getting a total of 3% of the response. Teruno Fuji's dropping 3 spots from last year. He was ranked 7th, and Tobi Zaru's dropping 4 spots from last year, where he was 6th. And then, yes, Jake.
I'm not super surprised that Teruno Fuji is dropping down the ranks due to inactivity, but I'm kind of confused about Tobi Zaru.
Thank you.
I was surprised about that one as well. It's not like he's gone anywhere. He's been in the Joy, if not Sanyaku, this entire year.
There's no big it wasn't like there was like a blackface scandal or something like that. He didn't like mess anything up or anything.
Apparently, he's just not entertaining enough anymore. There was just more excitement.
Some other type of scandal, I'm sure.
Oh yes.
Yeah. He's been consistently in the Joy, so he's been doing well, but maybe he hasn't been doing well where he's at. I think that's kind of the big thing. He's just been a little quiet.
He's still super exciting all the time. So that's kind of I mean, I would not have guessed that he would have dropped, unless the people that voted for him last year are getting stolen by somebody else that fills the same niche.
True. It could also be Tobi Zaru was the last person to face Teruno Fuji this year, and maybe some people are blaming him for Teruno Fuji's absence due to Tobi Zaru's very loose mawashi that he had in that match and kicking Teruno Fuji in his non-existent knees.
You're right. That's probably it.
That's got to be it.
All right, we'll move to number 9 favorite Rikishi. It is a newcomer to the top 10 lists, Wakamoto Haru, getting 3.3% of the response. And this is our first question. What rank was Wakamoto Haru last year? Give you multiple choice. He was either between the ranks of 11 and 15, 16 to 20, 21 to 25, 25 to 30, or 31 plus. So which range did Wakamoto Haru belong to last year?
In Makuuchi?
In yes, because he was in Makuuchi last year. So which range in the favorite poll was he in last year? Just for everybody listening to this or watching on YouTube, I am the only person that has looked at any of these poll results. I have an outline that I'm looking at that has not been shared by any of these guys. So these guys do not have any of the information.
We're doing it live.
For the record, my second screen, I'm just looking at where his ranking and results were last year. I'm not really looking up his like Ryan said, I don't have access to the results, but I'm definitely going to be trying to do some research because
Sumo DB 100% over.
I'm
just going to drink tea.
Oh, so you're talking about ranking in the Sumo poll of last year.
Correct. In our favorite Rikishi poll.
And Wakamoto Haru started at Maegashira 15 East in January. Made his way up to Maegashira 4 and kind of hovered there. And it wasn't till this year that he made Komusubi. So he was 15, 9, 6, 4, 6, 4 in the Maegashira ranks last year.
Yeah, he was voted the favorite newcomer of the year in 2022.
Oh, he was?
Yes.
And this year's not this year. He couldn't be. Yeah.
No, he couldn't be. Not this year.
He was voted number 9 most favorite Rikishi in the top division this year.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, I remember hearing about that.
All right, so Jake, what would you guess was his range of ranking for last year?
Give me the ranges again that you had as options.
11, 15, basically 5 starting from 10 down. Yeah.
I'm going to say 15 to 20.
Okay, 16 to 20, but okay.
16 to 20, yeah.
Yep. Mac?
I'm going to go the next set down.
21 to 25?
21 to 25.
And Fleric?
I'm going to go the set up. Whatever the single digits to
11 to 15
or so.
11 to 15?
Yeah.
All right. And that is 1 point to Jake as he was ranked 17th last year. So he had a pretty strong debut year, ending up in the top half of the poll, and being in the Sanyaku all year helped him jump up even further into number 9. And he is the first of 3 new Rikishi that are going to be joining the top 10 that were not in it last year. And our second new Rikishi that's going to be joining the top 10 that wasn't in it last year at number 8, Hokuto Fuji, with 3.6% of the response, who was 12th last year. Flair, do you have something else on Wakamoto Haru?
I just want to say it kind of made sense to going with my thought of the storylines this year. He was one of the big like Ozeki kind of Sekiwake trying to push for the Ozeki rank, so it makes he was definitely in everyone's mind a lot. So I'm very pleased to see that with a jump and roll and the ranking as well.
Influencing the narrative. I like it, Fleric.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on Hokuto Fuji breaking into the top 10 for this year?
Good for him. He's been around for a long time. I was just looking back at his rankings, even including his debut in the top division. He's only had 3 basho ever in the double-digit Maegashira. Other than that, he's been like generally 1, 2, or 3 for about almost 5 years, or excuse me, like 8 years now. Sorry, I apparently have sicked out all of my brains since the end of 2016. So that is 6 years now. It's one of those single digit years. But yeah, no, he's been there for a long time. He's always been very intense. He's always been pretty fun to watch, even if he isn't particularly like complicated. But yeah, I think it's probably due to his super awesome June Yusho where he was in the lead for a little bit that probably helped boost him this year.
Absolutely. And getting back into the Sanyaku ranks for the last basho of the year certainly didn't hurt. And so I have grouped all of these Rikishi into different popularity tiers. And so number 10 through number 8, they all belong to the B tier of popularity. And it's kind of broken out into where there's kind of distinct jumps up to like the next group of Rikishi. So we're going to be taking a distinct jump up into the A tier of popularity for this year's poll, going to Rikishi number 7, who is Takayasu, who got 5.8% of the vote, dropping down from second place last year after his incredible year in 2022, where he almost won a Yusho about 3 times.
Yeah.
So while
GSP Wrestler of the Year 2022.
That's right.
Even without a
absolutely
Yusho. That was awesome.
Yeah, without a Yusho.
Impressive to pull that off. So while Takayasu did not drop the most spots in the rankings compared to last year, he did have the biggest percentage point decrease of any Rikishi from 2022 to 2023. What percentage drop did Takayasu have in the favorite Rikishi voting from 2022? Was it 4.85%, 5.85%, 6.85%, or 7.85%?
So
I answered
4,
first
5,
last
6, or
time.
7.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
I answered first last time. When do you guys go?
Yeah, Mac.
6.
Okay. Fleric.
4.7, whatever.
Jake.
I'll take 5 point whatever.
All right, that's a big 0 across the board. Takayasu's popularity dropped by nearly 8 percentage points from last year. Last year, he was polling around 13%, and this year he's polling at 5.8.
Even with his
Say it
almost?
so.
He's still in the top 10, but it was a precipitous drop for
That's bull.
Takayasu this year. I'm not sure what exactly.
Jake would like to protest.
Yeah, I have much less faith in our listeners now.
Object.
He's thinking of Takayasu bonus episode as we speak.
Yep.
Gotta boost
RIP,
those
second
numbers for
most
next year.
popular guy. Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to number 6, where we have the final new member of the top 10 from last year, and it is Atami Fuji with 6% of the response. He was also kind of surprising. He was only in it for 1 basho last year, and he pulled the same level as Wakamoto Haru last year at tied for 17th last year, but he's all the way up to 6th this year. Once again, off of only 2 basho in the top division. Very impressive bashos, though they might be. So a very good showing for Atami Fuji in his limited time over the past 2 years. So I've just mentioned we have 3 new Rikishi that were in the top 10 this year that weren't in it last year: Wakamoto Haru, Hokuto Fuji, and Atami Fuji. For another point, name 1 of the 3 Rikishi that dropped out of the top 10 from last year.
Ooh.
We'll start with Fleric when he is ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a hot second.
All right. Jake is ready, so we'll start with Jake.
Can they steal my answers? Because I don't want to give this one away to Fleric.
All right. Fair. We'll start with Fleric.
Yeah.
$20 to Big Sumo fan. I am not messing around with this. I can get another tiny Zabuton for my other pencil mug on the other side of my desk.
There you go.
I'm gonna go with Takakeisho.
Okay. Mac or Jake.
Yeah, you're right. My turn to go second. Wakataka Kage.
And Mac.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go Onosho.
Interesting choice.
I
don't know.
Interesting face, Ryan.
Not a name I was expecting. That is a point for Jake. Yes. Wakataka Kage was number 3 last year.
You said we couldn't steal, so I was like, crap, that's who I wanted to do.
You could have lied and said, yeah, I was thinking of Wakataka Kage too.
What? I just said that was crap. I was like, okay, well, I was going to go that one.
But yeah.
I was also thinking Wakataka Kage.
Yeah, we're not going back.
But Jake
We're not
took
going
mine.
back. Question's already in the books.
Yeah, Wakataka Kage was 3rd last year, but obviously him being down in Makushita, not eligible this year. Another one that dropped out of the top 10. Actually, our 2 Rikishi that were tied for number 10 last year both dropped out, both for different reasons. One, Abi, is because he's a scummy human being who doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. And also, Tochi no Shin was tied for 10th last year and has obviously dropped to Jurio and since retired.
I have no sense of time this year. Tochi no Shin retired like 6 or 7 years ago now, right?
That sounds
Something
about
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Same with Ichinojo. He's been gone for decades.
Who's he? I don't. Did we watch him?
So at number 5 is Takakeisho, getting 6.5% of the vote, holding firm from last year. He was 5th last year. He's 5th this year. People who loved him last year still love him this year. He is only one of 2 Rikishi to remain at their same rank from the previous year. The other one being Onosho, who remained in 28th place.
Not the top 10, you say?
There you go.
Not the top 10. My God.
Wow, that's surprising with Takakeisho. I guess other people also kind of like him, like me. So
yeah, we're not the only
He's
ones.
an Ozeki. He's fine.
He won 2 Yusho this year.
Yes, but
yeah.
the quality of
But
his
at what
wins?
cost? Yeah.
Exactly. The quality?
Number 4 is, who do you guys think is left? I think a few should be fairly obvious.
Yeah. Ura, Hoshoryu, Kirishima are the 3 that I'm like pretty confident on. Daisho? Oh, that seems like pretty high for him.
He was also included in that kind of 3-way Sekiwake thing, but I think he might be the least popular of the.
And that's why I think he might be number 4.
Or was 4. Yeah.
I will say, you guys have the top 3, so we are looking for number 4. No points on the line, by the way. I'm just
right.
Yeah. Other guys that
the
might be in the mix that wouldn't completely blow me away. Shodai. I mean, I'd be surprised. Same with Mitakeumi. I'd be very surprised, but it wouldn't blow me away.
Do you think Asanoyama is getting some steam now?
But he wouldn't have been in it last year because he wasn't in the top division.
I guess. Oh yeah, I guess through up the newcomers.
You're saying all 4. The last name that we're looking for is somebody that's in the top 4 this year, but was also on the list
top 10 last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If only we remembered who the top 10 was last year.
Yeah, I feel like this is somehow a trick.
I would think.
What am I missing?
Think smaller.
Midori Fuji?
Midori Fuji? Really?
Is Enho somehow still top 10?
No. Midori Fuji is at number 4, getting 6.7% of the favorite votes, rising up 5 spots from last year when he was number 9.
I guess I forgot that he had been around that long.
Moving up to number 3, we know who the top 3 are. It's just a matter of what order they are in. And at number 3, it is Kirishima. He is getting 7.6% of the response, up 5 spots as well from 8th place last year. So, like I mentioned, we're working in tiers at this point. We had a few Rikishi that were in the B tier at the bottom end of the top 10. We're just wrapped up all of our Rikishi in the A tier of popularity. We had a very tight spread of votes from 7th place through 3rd place. where 7th place Rikishi Takayasu got 55 votes for favorite Rikishi, and 3rd place Kirishima got 72 votes for favorite Rikishi. So only a spread of 17 votes there. What is the difference between the number of votes from 3rd place Kirishima to 2nd place? Whoever is the closest without going over.
Price is Right rules.
Price is Right rules. What is the difference in votes between 3rd place and 2nd place? I believe we are starting with Jake on this one. So Fleric has the advantage.
Let's go.
Yeah, so you said 72 votes?
Yeah, Kirishima had 72.
And we had 900 and some total?
Correct. Ooh, Jake's doing math.
Jake's doing math.
Yeah.
I want that Zabuton. I'm going to say 48 votes is the difference to get from Kirishima's 72 up to 2nd place.
All right, Mac.
I'm going to go 60.
And Fleric.
Well, we had a 40 something and 60.
48 and 60.
Blake, if you're playing the game, you should just do 1.
Yeah.
Or should he do
Now,
60?
Is it legit Press Right rules?
Yeah.
Or...
Closest without
okay,
going
legit.
over.
Then yeah, 1. I was gonna go under whichever what the stuff is.
Fair. No, fair.
Yeah.
That
I was gonna
is-
go like 30 something.
That is a point to Mac.
Ooh.
As Kirishima received
Wow.
72 votes to get him in 3rd place, but Hoshoryu received 170 votes, a full 98 more than Kirishima, 18% of the response to land in 2nd place, dropping 1 from last year where he
Dang.
was our 1st place finisher last year. I think I've been saying on our
Impressive.
podcast leading up to this is like, hey, can Ura hold on to his number 1 spot? I completely forgot what happened last year. Hoshoryu was our number 1 Rikishi last year. So even though Hoshoryu is dropping from 1st place last year to 2nd place this year, he still received 3.3% more of the votes than he did in 2022. So even though his ranking has decreased this year, his popularity is still on the rise as more people are latching on to Hoshoryu.
I was going to say, this seems like way more votes concentrated in the top 2 than in prior years. Because I feel like most of our years, there's been like clear tiers like this, but like
Yeah.
the top 2 guys having more than double 3rd place, that seems a lot more focused to me.
Yeah, so 2019 it wasn't like that. 2020, yeah, it wasn't that bad. 2021, not this big of a gulf. And last year was really close. Like 1st through 3rd, it was a difference of 9 votes, and 1st to 4th was a difference of 20 votes.
Wow.
So yeah, this is definitely the biggest gulf from the S tier, the very clear and obvious. Like as obvious as Abi was the least favorite last year is this year for Hoshoryu. And obviously number 1 this year is Ura, who got 19.4% of the vote. He got 13 more votes than Hoshoryu, rising up 3 spots from 4th place last year. So Ura had the biggest swing in percentage of the response in either direction, positive or negative. So we talked about Takayasu had the biggest decrease in percentage points in a 7.85% drop. Well, Ura got an 8% flat increase from his vote percentage from 2022 to 2023. So last year he was polling at 11.37%. This year, 19.37%.
That's nuts.
And Ura is now our first ever 2-time winner of the favorite Rikishi poll, as he also won in 2021, not 2022, as I had
That was Hoshoryu.
been previously assuming. So, of our 4 winners that we have had of the favorite Rikishi poll, which one had the highest percentage of votes for favorite Rikishi in the year that they won? So in 2019, it was Enho. In 2020, Teruno Fuji. 2021, Ura, obviously again in 2023, and Hoshoryu in 2022. So who had the highest percentage of favorite Rikishi votes? I believe we're starting with Mac on this one.
I'm going to go Tochinoshin.
I believe you heard Tochinoshin when I said Teruno Fuji for 2020.
Okay, thank you.
No. He said it.
Okay, Teruno Fuji. I'm going to say Teruno Fuji.
Teruno Fuji, okay. Fleric, Enho, Teruno Fuji, Ura, Hoshoryu.
I'm gonna go with Ura.
Okay. You don't need to specify a year.
I think
Jake.
I'll take Enho then for variety.
The variety is the spice of life, and it gets Jake a point. Enho got 21.85% of the vote in the 1 year he was eligible in the top division. I'm sure if he hadn't dropped down to Jurio, he would have won every other year as well.
Of course. Yep. Naturally.
Yeah.
So that's our top 10.
We love our short kings, don't we?
We
in
do.
They're
Sumo?
like
We
the
do
little
love our
guys.
short kings. Absolutely. Midori Fuji, Enho, Ura. Everybody loves the short king. Any grand thoughts on the top 10 this year? Make sense? Anybody doesn't make sense? Anybody you thought would be in here?
I think Daisho might be the biggest snub. Where'd he end up?
Yeah.
Or unless if that doesn't spoil any later
No,
questions.
Daisho wouldn't spoil anything. He ended up in a tie for 18th. He got a total of
Really?
8 first place votes, which last year he was ranked tied for 22nd. His percent of vote increase was 0.4%. So really minimal. I kind of would have thought more for Daisho.
I
but-
suppose that's what it comes down to when like we're not asking sheer popularity. We're just talking like who is your favorite guy?
Yeah.
So like Daisho might be higher. I would guess Daisho would be higher on the list if we just like if everybody ranked all 42 guys or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But he definitely, it's hard to have him be your favorite of the favorite. Even I, who am a Daisho stan, for sure. Yeah, I would, Hoshori is probably my favorite right now.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
yeah.
It'd still be hard to put him over everyone else. The way that Ura and Hoshoryu are a little bit easier to understand there.
Yeah.
Which is why we have like the second favorite votes
Yeah.
to try to kind of capture that a little bit, even with second favorite votes included for like total votes between second and first, he would still end up with ending up in 19th with a total of 1% of the combined votes between first and second place.
I guess I'm mistaken. Maybe I just have a wrong idea of how popular he is.
I'll be curious to see how Atami Fuji actually does. I wonder how much of this is actually recency. Now, again, he's got 2 fantastic records under his belt, 2 Jurio shows, special prizes. That's great. I just want to see, like, will he continue to rise in popularity, or is this a flash in the pan with the fans?
Yeah.
So
The
I'll be
thing
curious
is,
to see
though-
what
We'll
happens
see if
next year.
if he struggles when he gets up to the joy. But he's got that lovable face, and I feel like that's kind of an intangible.
Yeah, it's true.
You can't take that away from him, no matter what his performance is.
Mhm.
We are definitely hype on him right now.
We
Let's
Yes, and
Can't wait.
that could be due to recency too,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah, but that's because we're so excited. I love it.
Yes.
All right. So we mentioned a little bit the second favorite votes. So if we factor in the second favorite votes, which Rikishi from the top 10 to 6 Rikishi would, like the top 10 to number 6 Rikishi, would break into the top 5?
Oh, I'll wait.
Flarek's got to answer this one.
Yeah, we'll start with Flair.
is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who
Hmm.
among Teruno Fuji, Tobizaru, Wakamoto Haru, Hokuto Fuji, Takayasu, or Atami Fuji would break into the top 5 if you factored in both first place and second place votes?
This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with Teruno Fuji.
Okay. Jake
Takayasu.
and Mac.
That's
You can
Atami
say
Fuji.
Takayasu. Okay. Hey,
No,
I'm not
keep
gonna-
it. Keep
I'm
it.
not
No,
gonna-
no. I'm gonna keep it. Keep it. Like, okay, can't steal.
Hey, you can steal if you want, but in this case, it benefits you not to, Mac. Atami Fuji would rise up to 4th if you factor in second place votes, knocking down Midori Fuji to 5th.
Dang.
The top 3 would remain unchanged.
Impressive.
So, looking at the top 6 to 10 now, if you factor in second favorite votes, which Rikishi from the top 10 to 6 favorites drops out of the top 10 entirely, and a bonus point for who you think might replace him. Once again, the 6 Rikishi that we have between ranks 10 to 6, Teruno Fuji, Tobizaru, Wakamoto Haru, Hokuto Fuji, Takayasu. Obviously, it wasn't Atami Fuji. And
Well,
we'll
it's
start
obviously not Takayasu.
starting with Jake.
Please. For starting with me, I'm gonna say I think Hokuto Fuji drops out.
Okay. And bonus
Um,
point for who you think would replace him.
Does he even get replaced if it's a tie for 10?
Actually, it does remain a tie for 10 if you factor in second place. Yeah.
Whoa.
Just somebody else hops in there.
Okay, well, it's stupid, but all right, sounds good. I'm gonna say Kota no Waka.
Okay. Mac.
All right, who's left? I was like, crap, I wanted that one too.
Jake said Hokuto Fuji dropped out. So if you're going with the no steal rule,
Yep, no steal.
Teru no Fuji, Tobizaru, Wakamoto Haru, Takayasu.
I'm going to go with Tobizaru.
Okay. And Fleric.
And who's gonna replace him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you think would replace him?
I have no idea.
It's Roga.
I
bet
don't
it's
know. No
Roga.
bonus point on that one for me.
Nope, that's fine.
All right.
Clock's ticking.
I
Fleric.
feel-
I love how like none of us think about it until it gets to us.
I know. I was
But I
thinking
do
about it as
appreciate
well.
Fleric is trying.
He is trying. Yeah. But we're all
That's the
all three of
concentrating
us are
space.
definitely we're definitely playing that game of we wait till the front of the line at McDonald's and then we're like,
I'll have a Big Mac.
right.
no.
I think I am
No.
sadly this hurts me to say, but also Tobizaru I think is gonna be
Okay.
the one that drops
Oh.
down. And the one possibly replacing him. That's hard to say. I'll go with Abi.
Abi. Okay. So that is one additional point for Jake here,
Ah.
as he got the bonus point right, as Koto no Waka hops into the top 10 once you factor in second place votes, replacing Teru no Fuji, who would drop down 3 spots to 13th overall, with Koto no Waka and Asanoyama jumping over him.
So, yeah,
Interesting.
Should've went with
Koto
my
no
gut.
Waka ended up at number 12 overall, and Asanoyama was 13th overall, just factoring in first place votes. And then to finish out that B tier there, we got one more, Tamawashi at 14th overall.
Hey, Tommy Mawashi. All right.
And so the top 14 Rikishi are the only Rikishi that received more than 1% of the favorite voting.
Gotcha.
All right. So we're going to skip the C tier. We're going to skip the D tier. It's time to jump right into the F tier Rikishi. These are the Rikishi that received 0 first place votes. And there is an all-time 8 Rikishi that did not receive a
What?
single vote for the favorite Rikishi, despite this having the second most responders ever. You'd think cast a wide net, you get a lot more diverse catch, but not this time. People have their favorites and they're sticking to them. So in order to get
Real quick though, is the list of eligible Rikishi, is that the same as the most recent Bansuke?
correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So of the guys that were in the top division for Kyushu 2023, 8 of those 42 picks, 8 of them got no votes.
Correct. Yes.
Got it.
So since there's 8 of them, you need to tell me 2 Rikishi that you think did not receive a favorite Rikishi vote in order to receive a point here. And we are going to start with Mac. So Mac, who is nobody voting to be their favorite? Give me 2.
I'm going to go Shona Naomi,
Okay.
and I'm going to go with Mitake Yumi.
Okay.
Terrible.
Big names.
Rookie move.
Fleric.
Sorry,
I'm gonna
no
go.
mercy in this episode. Sorry, Mac.
Duh.
That's right. I take them down. I feel like one of them would be the tried and true, who also won this ways back of not getting any votes. But I can't find him on the Banzuke though, which is very, very sad. So it's not gonna
Kakeyaki
happen.
is in Jurio. Sorry, Fleric.
And
What are you
Oyama's
talking
down
about?
there too.
I said Kakeyaki's down in Jurio. Sorry, Fleric.
Kageaki. No, it was if I find out, I'll find later. I'll just go with Tohakuryu and Roga as just 2
damn.
newcomers that just no one has an opinion about yet.
Okay. And Jake.
Yeah, Tohakuryu was going to be one of the ones I was picking. But
Okay.
Sadanomi, is that who you were thinking of, Fleric?
That was exactly who I was
Okay,
thinking
because
of,
I know
yeah.
he's gotten 0 votes in the past. I'm going to go
There he
but
is.
that's not my official answer. I'm going to
All right.
say Chura Naomi and Nishiki Fuji.
Okay. So we got 4 of the names between you guys. Jake's the only one that got 2.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Ooh.
So Mac, You nailed it with Shonan no Umi. He got 0
really?
first place vote. I
Boom.
knew I knew this when I was looking at the results. I'm like, Jake is going to be very surprised with the
Yeah.
Shonan no Umi results.
I'm very
I think
surprised too.
I think I'm
Rookie.
skewed by a guy who I know I talked to, who's a big Shonan Naomi fan.
Yeah.
Clearly didn't put him in his first place vote spot. No, that one does surprise me though.
And then I feel like Fleric, what were the two you said? Because I feel like
I
you
had
got one, but-
Tohakuryu and Roga.
Okay, Roga was the
Okay.
one that did not receive any first place votes. Some
Oh, Hawker, you did?
one. He got one.
What?
It only takes one.
What?
Okay, Mitake Yumi.
Surprise.
How many did Mitake Yumi have?
Mitake Yumi, he got 4 first place votes.
Damn it!
He finished in a tie for 24th. So yeah, the Rikishi that we're looking at here, Chura no Umi, Meisei, Miyogiryu, who last year also did not receive any first place.
Oh, no.
Meisei.
Nishiki Fuji, Roga, Sara no Umi, to Jake's point, Shona no Umi, and Takanosho. So,
Huh.
but that's not the bottom of the
Takanosho.
bottom, because we always reserve one tier that is named after a Rikishi that has the dubious honor of not getting any first place votes, not getting any second place votes. And there's only one Rikishi this time that did it. It is one of those 8 that I mentioned. I'll even narrow it down. It's one of the 4 that you guys had mentioned.
Okay.
Sure, Naomi. I'm gonna stick with him. We're gonna put all the eggs in that basket.
Jake's going Chota no Umi. You guys can join him there, or you can choose somebody else.
Fleric's pick. Or is it my pick or Fleric's?
Let's go with you.
Oh, I think we kind of went out of order there a little
yeah,
bit.
it doesn't matter.
Nah. I'm
Yeah.
going to go with Shonan Nomi.
Okay.
Doubling down. I'll double down with my pick. I'll go with Roga.
All right. Jake gets the point this time. It was Chura no Umi. Did not manage a single first place vote or a single second place vote.
There you go.
Roga.
Do I need to
got
start throwing
6.
this a little bit, like to make it a little bit
You're
more fun?
killing it, Jake.
Yeah, no kidding.
Roga
Completely
got
on purpose.
6 second place votes. Shona no Umi got 3 second place votes.
Ah.
That's
Fascinating.
probably where the other Jake ended up.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to be moving on to the polling results for the favorite newbies of the year. So we had 10 Rikishi make their Maku Uchi
Whoa.
this basho. And coming
This
in
year?
at this year.
Okay, good.
We had 4 for the Kyushu basho, but yes, 10 this year. At number 10, we have Kita no Waka, who got a total of just under 1% of the response. So Kita no Waka, the least popular newcomer to the top division this year, but he's trailing just behind 2 Rikishi that are tied for 8th place in Tohakuryu and Bushozan, who each received 1 more vote than Kita no Waka. And then coming in at 7th place is Chura no Umi, who got about 1.6% of the response. And then we're going to see a bit of a jump up in the number of votes. So we've got 6 Rikishi remaining that made their debut this year. They are Kinbozan, Hokuseiho, Gonoyama, Shona no Umi, Roga, and Haku Oho. Just like last year, I would like you to provide to me the top 4 in the order that they ended up in this poll. 1 point for each Rikishi in the right spot. So once again, those 6 Rikishi we are looking at are Kinbozan, Hokuseiho, Gonoyama, Shona no Umi, Haku Oho, and Roga. I want who finished first, who finished second, who finished third, who finished fourth.
All right. One more time. I only got 5 of them.
Nope, you're good. Kinbozan, Hokuseiho, Gonoyama, Shona no Umi, Haku Oho, and Roga. So while this one's going to take you guys a little bit of time, I will vamp. Let me know when you are all ready. So Kinbozan and Hokuseiho were the first 2 of this group to make their debut. I believe they both debuted in March, if I'm not wrong. Kinbozan started off strong with an 11-4 fighting spirit prize in his debut. Hokuseiho got a winning record, but not quite strong enough to get that fighting spirit prize. And then 2 basho later, I believe, in July is when we got the group of Gonoyama, Shonan no Umi, and Haku Oho all debuting, and all three, I believe, unprecedentedly getting 10 wins in their debut, each of them winning a Fighting Spirit prize, but Haku Oho getting 11-4 record, being in the Yusho race until the final day when he would face off against Hoshoryu and ultimately lose. And then we also had Roga, who showed up and got a 5-10 record.
And Roga was also there.
And
Yes.
Roga
And Roga, too.
All right.
Don't count Roga, apparently.
Mac, are you
No.
ready?
No.
What were the 6 guys again? No, I'm kidding.
I wasn't going to tell you. All right. We'll start with Fleric on this
I
one.
got
don't
it.
know
I
what-
got it.
All right. We'll start with Mac on this one. So, Mac.
Okay. I'm going to go with Haku Oho first.
Okay.
Second, Hokuseiho.
Okay.
Third, Gonoyama.
Okay.
Fourth, Shonan no Umi. And fifth, Kinbozan.
All right. How about you, Fleric? What order are you going with?
Just to clarify, it's 1 through 4, right? Not 5?
Mac went an extra step, but yes,
Okay.
1 through 4 is
It's
what I asked.
literally the exact
I
same
wanted
as
to
Max.
organize everything. I made a list.
Yep. Nope. You're
Yeah.
good. I appreciate the extra effort.
Yeah, I literally the exact same as Mac.
You don't
Hakuoho,
appreciate it with points though,
Hokuseiho,
right?
Gonoyama,
What?
and Shonan no Umi.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you said some, Jake?
I was gonna say Ryan.
No, he was making
appreciates
fun
back,
that
but
I did
not with
5.
points.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Um,
And Jake.
Yeah, I went with Haku Oho, Gonoyama, Hokuseiho, Kinbozan. So I think we're all kind of on the same track here, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Little
You got
bit
some-
of difference. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it played out as we reveal the top 6. But we've got a tie for 5th place. So we've got 2 Rikishi ending up at 5th place, and those are Shonan no Umi and Roga. Each of them getting 3.5% of the response. And then our top 4, we see a real increase in the number of votes here. At number 4, I don't believe anybody had this one, Hokuseiho, with 6.8% of the response. Number 3, Kinbozan, with 8.5% of the response. Number 2 is Gonoyama with 15% of the response. And number 1, Haku Oho with 58% of the response, unsurprisingly. So everybody got a point for Haku Oho. Jake got a point for Gonoyama in 2nd place as well.
How does that feel, Gonoyama being 2nd place, Ryan?
I mean, the fans have,
Spoken?
I mean, people are wrong. Donald Trump was president for from 2016 to 2020. People get things wrong sometimes.
You're right. Gonoyama
Yeah.
is a similar level of tragedy.
Absolutely. He
No,
finished,
I think
he finished 2nd place in the voting just like Trump did.
Go.
Oh, no, that was good. I appreciate that you're putting variety into it. Like some of
Yeah.
them, we got to list these out, and some of them, it's just like pick a random number.
Pick
that-
a random and
that his
go.
percentage dropped. Oh, okay.
That's
What
good.
do we got
More,
next?
Yeah, more Shonan no Umi shade, but I guess that's consistent at least.
Yeah, and a couple of you guys had Hokuseiho coming in at number 2. I feel like the shine has kind of fallen off of Hokuseiho a little bit.
Yeah. I
lot
would
of-
not be surprised if he's in the upper ranks of least favorite.
Yeah, I was like the shine maybe a
Ryan
little
silence.
bit.
Wait, Ryan smirk in silence.
I was waiting for Fleric. He had his finger up. I was being
Oh, yeah.
respectful.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
go ahead, Fleric.
Yeah, there was I think the shine wore off, but it's still like must see TV for me. I feel like you might feel the same as well, Jake. And it looks like I see nodding from Mac as well.
Yeah.
Like,
We
he's
all like him.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
like him.
yeah, he's very, very frustrating to watch, and like his results are not exactly there, but like
Yeah.
just because of that, I just
He's
have to
got the
watch him.
strength. He's got the size. He's got everything. I'm like, why aren't you doing better?
He doesn't have the want to.
Apparently.
He just
All
needs to want it more.
Exactly.
Why
Yeah.
why doesn't he want it more?
He just doesn't want sumo. Ugh.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to the top 5 Jurio Rikishi. I could not think of a good enough question for this, so I'm just gonna read you the top 5 Rikishi.
Love it.
Number 5. Have any of you guys heard of Tama Shoho?
No.
About 3 seconds ago, yeah.
So Thomas Shoho, I believe he's like 30 years old. He's just made it up to Jurio for the first time in 2023. But he's got a very quick, fast style that a lot of people are kind of really drawn to. So Thomas Shoho is your number 5 Jurio Rikishi. Let me confirm. Yes, Jurio debut in March of last year at 30 years of age.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very weak area for our podcast. We are not regular Jurio watchers.
Except for me. He got 6% of the vote. Number 4 was Ono Sato.
I've at least heard of him.
Yeah, he's only been in Jurio for 2 basho, and he's not looking back because he's going to be in the top division come January, but he got 8% of the vote. Number 3, Mac's favorite big-bellied smiling boy, Chiyomaru.
My boy!
Actually dropping 1 spot from last year. He was the number 2 vote getter last year. He got 8.3% of the vote this year. Number 2, Aoyama. He never does well in the top division popularity poll, but throw him down in Jurio, he's a top 5 guy, baby.
Hell yeah.
He gets 9.6% of the response. Jake, would you like to venture a guess as to who was number 1 in Jurio?
I'm going to guess that it's somebody who only fought in Jurio for 2 basho and is now sitting out while in Jurio. It's Hakuoho.
You are goddamn right. He got 40.6% of the vote.
Not surprised.
Nope.
So, similar to Makuuchi, there's some Rikishi that just aren't getting the love. There are 2 Jurio Rikishi that did not receive a single vote for favorite Jurio Rikishi. Those being 2 names you probably also haven't heard of, Chiyo Sakai and Hitoshi.
Yeah. I was going to guess it's not people that we have any idea who they are, right?
Correct.
No.
Yeah.
But last year, there were also 2 Rikishi in Jurio. Or no, there were 4 Rikishi in Jurio last year that didn't get a single favorite vote. But 2 of them has since debuted in Makuuchi this year, and they did not receive a single favorite vote. Can you name one of them for me?
They didn't receive a favorite vote last year.
Single favorite
Correct.
vote last
While they
year.
were in Jurio, they did not receive a single favorite Jurio Rikishi, and
Yeah.
they have since debuted in the top division.
Yeah.
Busho's on.
All right, Jake's in with Bushozan. Mac.
I'm going to go Kinbozan.
Okay, and Fleric.
Chura no Umi.
That's
I'll
a
go
point for my boy Fleric.
Ooh.
Following the trends of Chura no Umi not placing very well. The other one,
Intensely forgettable.
Yes.
surprising to me, Go no Yama.
Oh.
Did not receive any favorite votes last year.
That's fascinating.
I also like to kind of look at where have the Jurio Rikishi and where have they come from?
Where are
have
they now?
Gone? So only 12 of the current Rikishi in Jurio, 12 of the 28 were in Jurio at this time last year. So most of Jurio has gone elsewhere.
Mhm.
So where they came from this year, 5 were in Makuuchi at this time last year. People like Aoyama, Koto Shoho, Chiyoshoma, possibly Azumaryu, and I don't remember the other one. I'm not going to. Oh, Kageyaki. 7 were in Makushita last year. I'm not going to try to name all of them. 2 of them were in Sandanme. I know one of those was Kinbozan. I think the other one was Shonan no Umi. Oh, no, wait. Shonan no Umi's not in Jurio. Never mind. I'm dumb. And 2 weren't in Grand Sumo at all. Ono Sato and Hakuoho.
Yeah. Yeah, that rise to the
Nuts.
top is just legendary. Even Hakuoho could obviously I don't want him to, but he could retire right now and still be in several record categories for all time.
Yeah, and Ono Sato's not going to be too far behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our non-sekitori favorite. Who is the most popular Rikishi in the non-sekitori ranks? I will let Jake answer first since he is so eager.
Oh, just go for it.
Just go for it.
It's clearly hold on a second. What am I? Yeah, there you go. Okay, good. Enho.
All right, Jake says Enho. Fleric, who do you say?
Is this the most favorite in Jurio? Got the most
Favorite
votes?
non-sekitori, so Makushita or below. I would say
Makushita or below.
there's 2 contenders.
It's interesting you said Makushita or below. Kind of makes me wonder if there's someone else I'm not kind of thinking of. You said Enho, right? Which is definitely probably the person. Haku Oho. Let's go with the obvious
Haku
one.
Oho's in Jurio, buddy.
What do you mean? Oh, below Jurio?
Yeah, below
yeah,
Jurio.
he's still in Jurio, even though he's injured.
All right, I'm catching up.
I know the other one, but I'm going to stick with where I'm at.
I just of people. There's a lot of names. I'm also gonna go Enho.
You don't have to go through all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mac.
Wakataka Kage.
There you go.
That's a
It's
point
clearly
for,
one of those two, right?
That's what it's gotta be.
and that's a point for Mac.
Yeah.
nice.
Surprised me. And not even close, really. So number 5, Kotote Bakari, who was somebody that was in the top 5 last year. He's just younger guy, rising fairly quickly, kind of hit a wall at top Makushita, but he's still up there. He got almost 2% of the vote. This one, I'm going to need somebody, not one of you three, to explain to me. But Nabatame, he got 18 votes for favorite non-sekitori Rikishi. From what I could see, he's just kind of bounced around in Makushita for a little while. He's been around for a few years. He didn't show up a whole lot in the voting last year. So I need somebody to explain to me the Nabatame love. I don't understand. I've never made note of him or had anybody make note of him to me. So I would like an explanation on that if anybody knows.
Yeah.
Kiho, the former Kawazoe, the fellow diminutive Rikishi in the Miyagino stable. He got 19 votes. Then we got a bit of a step up. Number 2, Enho getting 41 votes. And then Wakataka Kage getting 173 votes, almost 19% of the total response. Of course, the overwhelming majority response to this question was, I don't have a non-sekitori favorite. Over half the vote.
Of course. Of course.
And then we get to my favorite question on this poll. True or false? We received more than 10 different variations of Wakataka Kage's name for this write-in answer.
The over-under is at 9.5 or 10.5?
I was about to say, what's the over-under?
We'll put it at 9.5.
Okay.
Well, no, I said more than 10, so 10.5.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I
10
gotcha.
and a half.
All right, Flaric,
True. Or over, whichever.
Jake.
I'm going to say the under, which I guess is false. I got to have some faith here.
Mac,
I'm going
it's gonna
over.
be tough for you because you don't steal, and both the answers have been taken.
Ooh, Matt can't steal. He has
All
to
I
take
know
back.
is 10.5.
No, you said over.
I said over.
All right, that's a point for Flaric and Mac.
No.
Yeah.
What we received as a right-in answer, we have Wakataka Kage spelled correctly, capital W. We have Wakataka Kage spelled correctly, lowercase w. We have some of these are going to be hard for me. Wakatakage. We have capital WTK. We have Wakataka Kage exclamation point. We have Wakataka Kaze. We have Wakataka Kage smiley face. We have Wakatakage. Wakataga Tage. Wakataka Gage, Wakataka Tage, Wakataka Kage, parentheses, duh, and the Waka brother.
Wait, that
Oh,
could be
that's
Wakamoto
incredible.
Haru.
It could be, but I'm counting it for Wakataka Kage.
No, it
and
could be the
even
third
if
one.
we even if we
It could
take
be
it
the
away,
third
we're still over 10.5.
Ah, shit. What's the third one's name?
Wakamoto.
Wakatakamoto.
There you
Wakatakamoto.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
I
like-
just got
Oh, that's
flashbacks
amazing.
of that video. It's like Pergananant.
I was going to say the same
Yeah.
thing.
Like, oh, it's so good.
The same one. It was like, how does a Luigi board work?
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was awesome. Thank you.
I loved it. Thank you to everybody who wrote one of those in. You have brought us mirth.
No, just spell his name correctly. I don't.
No.
You know how long it takes me to compile all of the correct votes when
Yes,
people are
Georgia
spelling stuff
Ryan.
wrong or adding in an exclamation point to the end? It throws everything off.
Got to make it a drop down. Put like
do it.
Oh no.
400 names in there in the drop down.
Yeah.
I did that for countries. I like listed like the top 5 countries and then you have an option to write in because obviously not everybody belongs to the top 5 or 6 countries that usually respond to this. And one of the write-in answers was, why'd you only list Western countries?
Oh.
I'm sorry if you're listening to this. It's because those are the most popular answers. So I'm just giving them
also
an
where
option to
we
check
are.
it.
It's,
So-
yeah,
and
it's
I
where
don't-
we are.
I don't want to get like 10 different responses for UK, U period, K period, capital U, capital K, United Kingdom, England. No, just United Kingdom.
Yeah.
That's your box. You check
Gotcha.
it. Don't need to get or United States of America. Just compile it all in
Oh
one.
my God.
It's easy.
It's USA U.S.A.
Yeah.
America. America
America.
is my favorite answer that we've gotten in the past.
Yeah.
Yep, America.
But also to Jake's point, yeah, we're a Western podcast with mostly Western listeners, so that's what we're going to provide.
That's
Spending way
sorry,
too much time
but I don't.
on
We're probably going to do it the
angering
same way.
one person.
Larry,
We're
you
gonna
look like
move
you
on.
have something to say.
Oh no. It's
Okay.
just enjoying the yelling about hating other countries that aren't in the West.
I hope it was Wata.
Here, I'm just going to say. I'm just going to say sorry, but we're probably going to do it that way next year too.
Yeah, obviously. I'm not listing 200 countries. All right.
Oh.
Favorite basho of the year? Simple question. What was the most popular basho of the year? To remind you of your options: Hatsu, Haru, Natsu.
Are you
I actually
serious?
I
have
was
the
gonna give more
sheet up right here.
context, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure
Hatsu,
what I expected.
Hatsu, Takakeisho Yusho without a controversial Hanka in a playoff. Aki, no, not Aki, sorry. Haru, Kiribayama Yusho over Daisho in a playoff. Natsu, Teru no Fuji dominating Yusho. Nagoya, Hoshoryu Yusho beating Hokuto Fuji in a playoff. Aki, Takakeisho Yusho featuring a controversial Hanka in a playoff against Tatami Fuji. And Kyushu, the Kirishima Yusho.
Yushu.
Yushu.
So we're guessing for a point.
Yes, Mac. What do you think was the most popular basho this year?
I'm gonna go with Haru.
Kirishima's first Yusho. All right.
That's a pretty good one.
Fleric.
I'm gonna go with Nagoya, or Shuri one.
Hoshoryu. And Jake.
I will take Kyushu.
That is a point for Fleric.
Oh,
Nagoya is the most popular basho of the year, getting about 39% of the vote. Hoshoryu was the number 2 Rikishi of the year. Him winning the Yusho very easily makes it people's favorite. It was also Hokuto Fuji in the playoff, but that was also Hakuoho Gonoyama and Shonan no Umi's impressive debut. I don't think that's a bad choice at all. Very good choice for favorite Yusho of the year. In second place was Kyushu, this most recent one with the Kirishima Yusho. Number 3 was Natsu, getting about 14% of the vote. Teru no Fuji Yusho. Haru was the 4th place vote getter. I think Haru suffers because it was so long ago. Haru and
maybe.
Hatsu.
And like with the when you have a playoff or something, that helps a little bit. But like, yeah, if it's just like, what's the one right before that? Fleric or Matt, can you name that? Because I know that Ryan probably could.
Yeah.
But what was November last year? You know, like when you get that far back, it's kind of tough to like
Yeah.
remember the highlights and remember exactly. So
that's
like,
fair.
yeah,
Abi
Which one
won
was
in
it,
a
Ryan?
Three-way playoff. Yeah, Abi.
Yeah, I
won
know
in a 3-way playoff. Yep.
did it
The
hurt to listen to
encyclopedic
us not
knowledge
know?
that Ryan has for this.
5th place was Aki, Takakeisho's controversial Yusho, and last
Interesting.
place was Hatsu, Takakeisho's non-controversial Yusho. All right, let's get to the hate. We've gone through everybody's
I knew this
favorites.
was coming.
Hey,
Let's get to the
Throw that
least
shade.
favorites. All right, so half of the top 10 least favorite Rikishi from 2022 were ineligible for this year's voting, mostly due to no longer being in the top division or retirement. Those were Terutsuyoshi, Chiyoshima, Kagayaki, Aoyama, Ichinojo. So those 5 gone, not eligible to be. So we've got a guaranteed 5 new Rikishi in the top 10. So name 2 of them that you think will be newcomers to the top 10 least favorite list.
Oh, 2 newcomers to it.
New. I was
Newcomers
like,
to the
wait
top
a
10.
minute.
Okay.
Not necessarily somebody that like debuted this year, but just somebody who wasn't on the
Right,
top
wasn't
10
there last
least
year.
favorite list last year and is this year.
Interesting.
So I will give you guys a little bit of time to think about that while I just kind of talk about what the least favorites were last year. So as I mentioned, Terutsuyoshi not eligible. He's all the way down to Makushita now. He was number 10 last year. We always include a no least favorite Rikishi option. That option finished 9th last year.
Oh, is that so? We're gonna count. Okay, but it was in the top 10 last year, so it's
It
not
was in the top 10
necessarily
last year, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Ryuden finished number 8 last year. Chiyoshima, ineligible. A former winner of the least favorite Rikishi was 7th last year. Kageyaki was 6th. Takakeisho representing in the top 10 and of the favorite and the least favorite. He was 5th last year. Shodai was 4th. Aoyama 3rd. No longer eligible. That's a heavy hitter that had always been in the top 5.
Literally a
of
heavy
least
hitter.
favorite. Dropping down to Jurio for Kyushu. That made him ineligible. Ichinojo was number 2 last year. He obviously has retired, not eligible. And Abi, far and away the least favorite Rikishi last year with almost triple the votes of second place. All right, everybody got their 2 names?
Absolutely not.
I got one.
I've got some.
Well, Mac said he's got some, which means more than one, and I've only asking for 2, so we're going to start with Mac.
Okay. I'm gonna, in terms of hate, I'm gonna go with. This is surprising to me, but I'm gonna say Hokuseiho, and I'm gonna say Chiranoumi.
Okay. Fleric.
I'm going to go with Hokuseiho. But for the other one, is a great question as I stare at this Banzuke, waiting for it to just tell me its secrets. I'm going to go with Mitakeumi.
Okay.
He was on my list too, Fleric.
And
Yeah.
Jake.
I feel like Hokuseiho's the gimme, so yeah, I'll take that one too. And then, yeah, shit. I guess I'm gonna go. I'm sorry. You said Tamawashi was on it already last year.
No.
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 I will take
Fleric?
Tamawashi. I
No.
think.
Okay.
What's up, Fleric?
I would like to replace one if it's not too late.
Absolutely.
Yeah, instead of Mitakeumi, I would like to go Nishikigi.
Okay.
Oh, Eater of Worlds.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll find out how you did as we go through the top 10. As breaking into the top 10 for, I believe, the first time ever is Oh No Show at number 10, getting 1.7% of the response. So notice that for number 10 for the favorites list, you had to get at least 3% of the response. Oh No Show's getting into the top 10 with only 1.7% of the response. Going up 7 spots. He was 17th last year. I think this one
Just weird to have such a strong opinion, I guess.
Yeah. This one I think will surprise you guys. At number 9, Koto no Waka. With
What?
2.1% of the vote, rising from 31st last year.
I wonder.
Again,
why.
I just don't know what there is to hate there.
I'll get into it in a little bit, but
Okay.
I think I know why.
Okay.
Okay. I'm guessing he just beat all the other Sekiwaki who were trying to become Ozeki. He's just.
Hoshoryu and
That's gotta
Kirishima
be
already
it.
became Ozeki, though. So,
But Daisho, everyone's favorite.
right? Yeah, everybody. The number 18th most popular Rikishi. They kept him out of Ozeki-hood. Number 8, Hoshoryu, also new to the top 10 list this year. He's been steadily rising up year after year, up the least favorite list, and this year he's finally cracked the top 10.
That surprises me. I thought he was on it last year in the top 10, but
He was number 11 last year.
oh, that's what
Just
I missed.
about.
I was like, I knew he was on it last year.
He was close. That stare down definitely didn't do him any favors.
No.
So yeah, he got about 2.9% of the vote. The number 10 through number 7 are all newcomers to this list, as number 7 is Toha Kuryu, the bad boy.
Bad boy.
I picked him as my chump, and I still couldn't hate him. He's just like, just kind of a dork, you know?
Yeah.
He
But-
got 3.9% of the response. Obviously not ranked last year as he was in Jurio, and he is also the first Rikishi ever to make his debut in this year and end up on the least favorite list.
Oh wow.
Watching his style, I could see why.
Oh crap! Does that mean that Hokuseiho is not on there?
I'm wondering.
Really?
Oh.
At number 6, it is Shodai, who got 4.2% of the response, falling a couple of spots from 4th last year. I believe he was 2nd the year before. So Shodai is getting slightly more palatable as the years go by.
As his rank falls on the hate.
As his rank falls, so does his so does the hatred against him fall. At number 5, none. The love shows up at number 5 as 78 people were cowards and couldn't put pen to paper on who they hated the most. You know there's somebody that
I
you
appreciate
don't
you.
like.
Yes,
I
do as
appreciate you
well.
guys.
I don't. I put that option on there because I know some of you pretend that you feel that way. So we put it on there to ease your conscience. But
Sure.
I know deep down there's some, but you don't like Hokuseiho. I know you don't. Just vote for him.
Just come on. Just put it down.
Come on, give it to us.
Okay, well, who is number 11 then to make up for this cowardice?
Yes.
Number 11. That requires me to do a little digging. Number 11 on the most hated list. Tobizaru. Once again,
the
it's
flying
only
monkey.
It's only 1.1% of the vote. It's only 11. The top 4 sucked up a lot of votes. But
Yeah.
Tobizaru would be our number 11th, and number 12.
So the
would be
real number
Takayasu.
10. What?
Sure.
Takayasu was 12.
1 vote behind Tobizaru.
What?
That's
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 still.
surprising.
I'll be honest though, that's okay with me because that is still a manageable number of people to hunt down. If it was like 40 people, it'd be like, this is a little
Yeah.
bit too much for a vendetta.
Let,
But
let it be known if you see a Hakuho mask just appear in a doorway and a mawashi draped between his hands, it's Jake.
At number 4, this is where you all get your 1 point. Hokuseiho with a
Yeah.
strong debut on the least favorite list, getting 112 votes for least favorite Rikishi, 11.8% of the response, and he is the second Rikishi to make his debut in a year and end up on the top
I
10
see.
least favorite list.
you said Tohakuryu was the first one to
First
make this debut.
Yes.
Not the only
Yeah.
one to make this debut.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Mhm.
At number 3, we've got Ryuden getting 1 more vote than Hokuseiho, 113 votes for almost 12% of the response, rising up 5 spots from last year where he was 8th. This one confuses me a little bit because, like, the reason people hate Ryuden is, like, he broke COVID protocol and there's, like, rumors of infidelity and stuff like that. But that all happened in 2021. So why
Yeah.
in 2023 is this like huge upsurge in hating
Yeah.
him?
You'd think it would
Lasting
like revert
hates?
to the mean a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Over
like,
time,
his-
maybe.
The percentage vote increased by 8%. He was up 8 percentage points from last year. From like 3.92% to 11.92%.
Oh, jeez.
It's not like he's done anything this year.
No.
He's been like, when I'm a double digit Maegashira, I'll get 10 wins, get up to like Maegashira 5 or 6, then I'll get 10 losses, and then rinse and repeat. All right.
Weird.
Here's
The most
another
offensive thing.
Here is another question for you guys. Did Takakeisho overtake Abi for the least favorite Rikishi? Simple yes or no.
Yes.
Max says yes. Flaric says.
Yes.
Jake says.
I want to give it variety, but I bet he did.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
so we
say
got-
yes. Yeah.
All right. Coming in at number 2 with 13.3% of the response is still Takakeisho.
Oh,
Interesting.
He rose. He was 5th last year. He's number 2 this year. The percentage point increase against him was 6.7% more people voted him as the least favorite Rikishi this year than last year, which means Abi is once again
Still
your
the hate.
run away least favorite Rikishi. Takakeisho got 126 votes. Abi got 217. He spits on Takakeisho.
Jeez.
Not even in the same atmosphere.
I
This is
would
why
have
we
thought
do
the
this poll.
controversial would have killed it, but no.
Yeah, Abi hasn't really done a whole lot this year, except for like Hanka-ing way too much. But
But
people
not
don't
in a
forget.
playoff to win a U show.
No.
Yeah.
People don't
do
forget
that.
Jake. He got 23% of the response. He was first last year. He was first the first year we did this in 2019. He is our 3-time least favorite Rikishi. Only
Was that the year that he got everybody kicked off social media, you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
that would
fine.
do
It might not have been that exact year, but that's why people didn't like him.
So
that
his
time.
emoji on our Discord chat is well earned.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
But
the
let's see,
devil
in-
emoji.
The
Stupid
devil emoji.
in
Bobby.
2019, so this year he got 23% of the vote. Last year, he got almost 25% of the vote. So the people voting for Abi did decrease by 2%, which is not nearly enough to make up the
Not
difference.
enough to offset it.
When he got it in 2019, he only got 12% of the vote.
Hmm.
So
He's
obviously,
really staked a claim.
Yeah.
Yes, he's really sticking in the craw of quite a few people. All right. And for just the second time since we started this poll, every single Rikishi received at least one least favorite vote. Nobody was safe. Two of them were Chura no Umi and Tomokaze, where apathy was more the reason they didn't move the needle for anybody, because who cares about Chura no Umi? And unfortunately, it's been a while. There's a lot of new people that really don't know the story of Tomokaze, so who cares about Tomokaze? So,
Fair.
Who only got one single least favorite vote due to their sheer popularity? Which Rikishi that finished in the top 5 favorite Rikishi poll received only one least favorite vote? The answer might surprise you.
Well, I don't think it's Takakeisho.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jake using that process of elimination.
We know it's not
Mhm.
Hoshoryu. So we're talking, is it Ura, Kirishima, or Midori Fuji? I'm not sure whose turn it is to answer first, but I feel like...
I will say, Jake, the 3 you mentioned all had 3 least favorite votes or less.
Oh, okay. So all 3
Or
of them are at
less.
the very least in the right tier.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
So yeah, it's basically, who do you think? Midori Fuji, Ura, or Kirishima? I don't know who we're starting with, so I'll start with Mac.
Erg. I'm gonna go with didn't receive any. I'm gonna go Ura.
Only one, but
Or
yeah.
only one. All right, then I'm gonna go with Ura.
Ura, only one. All right.
I feel like...
It's impossible. It's
Yep.
impossible to hate Ura. I'm gonna go with him too.
And that's why.
Jake?
Yeah, I just think that those 2 guys are too popular not to have somebody just be a contrarian.
Yeah.
So I mean, even though I am picking last, I'm Midori Fuji's who I wanted to pick.
That's a point for Jake. Midori Fuji, only
Mm.
one least favorite vote. Ura and Kirishima somehow found 3 people to say that
Wow.
they were their least favorite.
Again, a manageable number
outrageous.
to hunt down.
Yes.
That sounds
Yeah.
fine.
How dare you?
The Ura one is just egregious. Like Takayasu, at the very least, I can understand some people have different tastes, and some of those tastes are wrong. But Ura, come
How
on,
can you hate
What?
that man?
what the hell?
Yeah.
Just rude.
All right. So next we're going to move into what I call the tiers of likability, kind of like what tier do you fit into based on your popularity, like how many people love you versus hate you. So the tiers are simply determined by the difference in number of votes you received for favorite Rikishi or least favorite Rikishi. Second favorite Rikishi does not include in these calculations. There is also there's like 3 tiers to the favorable side, 3 tiers to the unfavorable side. There is also people just don't care either way about this Rikishi. That's our biggest tier, and it sits smack dab in the middle. So how I
Sure.
determined how you ended up in the don't care tier was if you had a vote total between favorite, second favorite, and least favorite Rikishi, there were a total of, let me get that real quick, 2,759 possible votes. And in order to get 0.5% of those votes, you needed to get 14 or more. So if you couldn't even manage 0.5% of these, if you couldn't even manage to get 14 votes, people just don't care about you enough. You're in the don't care tier. Doesn't matter if all 13 of those were in one direction or the other. There just wasn't enough people that voted for you to end up in that tier. And then the other way you could end up was, if people don't care about you one way or the other, is if your final score was within 2 points of 0. So if you had like 10 people say you were their favorite and 8 people say they were your least favorite, you're within 2. People really don't care too much either way on you. You're pretty much smack dab in the middle. So there's not really many questions in this. This is just going to be me reading you a bunch of names.
Can I guess the obvious couple top ones here?
Sure. Yeah, why don't you guess who you think ends up in the don't care tier?
Oh, sorry. I was going to go the other way. I feel like there's some very obvious ones that are super far on one direction or the other. But yeah, I mean,
it's our
we've
top
gone
10 list and our bottom 10 list.
Yeah.
But who do you think's in the don't care
Well,
tier?
not necessarily, because Taka Keisho is top 5 in both.
True. There are exceptions.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's where the only place I was going to go with it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we've already gone over a handful of the don't cares.
Yeah.
So yeah, never mind. I'll just let you go.
Yeah. So our don't care Rikishi are Ichi Yamamoto, Keen Bozan, Takara Fuji, Roga, Meisei, Sada Naomi, Nishiki Fuji, Kita Nowaka, Miyogiryu, Oho, Shona Naomi, Takanosho, Tomokaze, and Choda Naomi. Any of those names surprise you? Didn't get any more action? I know Jake is kind of perpetually surprised at Shona Naumi's results in this one, but anybody else?
I'm surprised. Tsurugisho, where has he been on all these lists?
Tsurugisho will show up in one of the favorable or unfavorable
Okay.
tiers.
I was curious with this one. I'm like, I haven't heard his name. And same with Koto Eiko. I'm like, I also haven't heard that name. So I'm curious to see where these guys are.
Yeah, another big one that's missing is Nishikigi, who decided to be good this year. We haven't heard his name at all so far.
Yeah, and I think one of you thought he would be top 10 least favorite Rikishi, so we'll see which tier he ends up in. So for the dubious honor of receiving the least number of votes in the poll, we've got to go back to this episode's punching bag, that is Choda Naomi. So, as I mentioned, there was a total of 2,759 votes available for the taking between those three categories: first favorite, second favorite, least favorite. Choda Naomi managed, between those three categories, one least favorite vote for a total of 0.04% of all votes. Conversely, Ura received 332 total votes with 183 favorites, 146 second favorites, and 3 least favorites for a total of 12.03% of all votes. So from the least to the top, it ranges from 0.04% to 12.03%.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. So we're going to look at the generally favorable and generally unfavorable tiers. So to qualify for these tiers, you had to receive more than 0.5% of all the votes, and your score was 3 or more away from 0, but less than 28. And kind of how I determined the tiers is to get like 1% of the vote, you need about 28 total votes cast for you. And so that's kind of like, I figured if your difference was 1% of the vote, that would kind of break you into a different tier. So like the 3 to 28, that is having less than like 1% of the total vote caring for you in one way or the other.
Sure.
So in the generally unfavorable tier, we have Endo, Mitakeyumi, here you go, Mac, Tsurugisho,
There we go.
Onosho, and Gonoyama.
That interests me. I guess Gonoyama. I wonder if
I'm rubbing off on some people.
I was going to
That's
say,
what
I
I say,
wonder
that one surprises me too.
any of that is due to you or
Maybe Hoshoryu fans mad,
Ooh,
mad
that
at
could
the
be.
stare down, blaming Gonoyama more than Hoshoryu.
for whatever reason.
Yeah, even though it's 100% on Hoshoryu.
Of course. Oh my God.
The generally favorable tier, we have Tobizaru. Here you go again, Mac. Koto Eiko.
There we go.
Hirado Umi, who is leaving the don't care tier.
Hey, good for him.
Nishikigi, also leaving the don't care tier. Daisho, also leaving the don't care tier.
Let's go.
Tanner
Question mark?
Yeah, Tanner no Fuji only making it up to generally favorable, along with Tamawashi and Asanoyama. So then we move to strongly liked or strongly disliked, where your score was between 28 and 56 points away from 0 in either direction. But there is a caveat. If your score was above 56 points away from 0, but you appeared in the top 10 list of the opposite ranking, you were dropped a tier.
The Taka Keisho rule.
So in the strongly disliked tier, we have Shodai, who had a total net score of -31, Tohakuryu, who had a -36 score, and Takakeisho with a -65 score, which by the numbers would put him in the universally disliked tier, but you can't ignore him being a top 5 favorite Rikishi as well.
Yeah.
So that can't be universal now, can it? So he's in the strongly disliked tier. Can't
Fair
ignore
enough.
that there's more people who
Nope.
don't like him. but it's not universal.
It should be it should be a graph, like a 2-dimensional thing instead of just tiers.
Yeah.
Because then you could have a like versus dislike and give a shit versus don't.
Yeah, there you go. Little cross.
That'd be good. You can do that next year.
I probably won't.
No, you won't. In the strongly liked tier, we have Wakamoto Haru with a score of +28, Hokuto Fuji +31, Takayasu +45, Atami Fuji +50, and Hoshoryu with +143. But once again, he gets bumped down from the universal love tier due to being in the top 10 least favorite list.
Makes sense.
And then we get to the universally loved, universally despised. Your score was greater than 56 points away from 0, and you did not appear in the opposite top 10 list. So universally despised Rikishi, -104 for Hokuseiho, -112 for Ryuden, and -209 for Abi.
There it is.
I almost made a tier for Abi, just called like maybe the devil. Just because he's just still so far and away hated so much more than
By
anybody
so
else.
many.
Yeah, the war criminal bucket.
Yes.
Yeah. But still, props to Hokuseiho for somehow just getting under everybody's skin in
Doesn't
a very
matter.
short amount of time.
As long as they care about you, you know,
Yep.
then you get
As
on
long as
TV,
they're
right?
talking. Yeah.
That's the
Any
pro wrestling
publicity
rule.
is good publicity?
Yeah.
Question mark?
And then the universally loved tier, Midori Fuji +62, Kirishima +69, and Ura
Nice.
+180.
Jeez.
Wow.
So,
Amazing.
if you have been counting, which I know all three of you have been,
Mhm.
I've yet to mention one Rikishi in any of these tiers. And this is the Rikishi that I am putting in the controversial tier that Takakeisho occupied last year. Because similar to last year, Takakeisho was in both the top 10 favorite list and top 10 least favorite list, and his score netted out to +3. So he got far too many votes to be considered don't care Rikishi. So he was controversial. Which Rikishi fits that similar bill this year?
And you haven't mentioned them yet?
I haven't mentioned them yet.
I don't think you've mentioned Asanoyama yet.
I made a mistake. No, I did mention Asanoyama. Never mind. Don't you
Okay.
gaslight me.
I didn't gaslight you. I just said I don't
No.
think I've heard.
So no, Jake's wrong.
Okay, fair.
Jake's too far in the lead. I can't give him a second guess.
I made a mistake.
So Mac,
Hmm.
if you can't think of anybody, that's fine.
There are two that are standing out. I just want to. Have you mentioned Hoshoryu yet?
Yes, yeah, he's in.
Okay.
He's in the.
Oh no,
strongly
I'm just
liked-
saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Just wanted to make sure. Then I'm gonna go with Wakamoto Haru.
No, he was also in the same tier as Hoshoryu.
There's 42 names here, so yeah, I can't blame us too much here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flair, do you want to give it a shot, or you just want me to tell you?
Did you say Takayasu?
I did.
Ah,
All three of those guys were in the strongly liked tier. No, Koto no Waka are kind of Ozeki hopeful. So he had 28 favorite votes and 20 least favorite votes, only netting him a score of +8, which he was the closest guy that I could be able to kind of throw into this controversial tier this year. So I did. But
I see.
he got 20 votes on both sides, and it wasn't like a crazy swing in one direction. So I
But
think he fits.
why?
So angry Reddit users is my explanation, because not angry Reddit users. Reddit's just where I see it. Angry conspiracy theorists, because
Oh.
Koto no Waka's dad is Sadogatake Oyakata, the head of the Shimpan committee, who sits at ringside and is a judge for many matches. And people think any time that Koto no Waka gets a close match ruled in his favor, it's like, oh, that was his dad. So
Please.
there's a group of
Ugh.
people that dislike Koto no Waka because they think
Purely
his
because of
dad
his dad.
is giving him favorable decisions.
That's an interesting theory, because if they knew anything about Japan in that situation, the person
Dad's
who's probably
judging him harshest.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo.
yeah, his dad's probably just saying like, "Oh yeah, he didn't win. Don't worry, he didn't win.
Try
He didn't win."
harder.
But we have clear evidence it wasn't the case. No, it's probably
He
wrong.
should have made it more obvious if he wanted to win.
Yeah.
Was that a hair pull? No, his hands weren't even close. I think it was a hair pull.
Yeah.
So yeah, Koto no Waka is our most controversial Rikishi this year.
Fun.
All right, And then we're going to wrap this up with just some trends that the numbers have shown us from the past 5 years of doing this polling. So Ura obviously continues to be the Rikishi with the highest average placement for favorite Rikishi. His average placement is 2, since he's finished with 1, a 4, and a 1. So, but he's only been around for 3 years. Which Rikishi that has been on the poll for 4 or more years has the highest average ranking? All right, Jake has a guess, and I'll give you 3 options. It could be either Teruno no Fuji, Takayasu, or Takakeisho. The 3 T's. We'll start with Fleric.
Takakeisho.
All right, Jake.
Same.
Mac.
Takayasu.
Points for Jake and Fleric. I asked the same question last year. None of you got it, so I'm happy that 2 of you were able to get it this time. So yeah, Takakeisho's average placement on the favorite Rikishi poll is 4th place. Teruno Fuji's average placement is 5th. He finished 1 year and 2nd the following year, but it's had a big drop off the last 2 years since his injuries have really kicked in. And the Takayasu's average placement is 6.6.
Got it.
There are 3 active Rikishi that have been on the poll for 4 or more years and have only gone up in the rankings. They have never dropped in the rankings. Tamawashi is one of them. He continues his streak of only going up in the popularity poll, rising this year from 15th to 14th. Name one of the other 2 Rikishi that has only increased in popularity since their debut on the poll. Not going to give you any hints. All right, Mac's got a guess. Mac, what do you think?
Wakatakakage.
Unfortunately, I'll give you a redo since Wakatakakage was correct last year. Absolutely. But since he's not available this year, I'm not going to say that's a bad guess. But I will give you another shot.
But I'm going to imply it strongly.
But I'm going to imply.
I will say, kind of like that right flavor of Rikishi.
Okay. Come back to me then.
I'm going to say Kirishima.
Okay.
You said 4 years?
Yes.
Could you, so is not including like all the way back to 2019. In other words.
I'll give you another hint. Correct. They made their debut in 2020.
In 2020. At the beginning of 2020.
It didn't necessarily have to be beginning of 2020, because our poll every year is based on Kyushu, so the final basho.
Okay. I will go with Hoshoryu then.
Okay. And Mac, your second guess.
Oh, we got a second.
Well, Mac guessed somebody
No.
that was ineligible.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I picked somebody that was on it last year, but I still think he's quite popular. I'm not going to throw that one away.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
What are my options? Oh, no options. Sorry. Okay. I don't know. I am drawing a blank.
That's fair. So that is a point for Jake with Kirishima. So Kirishima in 2020 when he debuted. Let me sort this alphabetically so I can easily find the name. Oh my God, that made it hard. Okay, so in his debut in 2020, he was 28th favorite, and then in 2021 up to 14th. Last year, he made it up to 8th place, and then this year, he made it up to 3rd. The other Rikishi that has only increased in popularity debuted the same year, Koto no Waka. Just been a shade behind Kirishima in the popularity. So he was 32nd, then 27th, then 14th, and then 12th this year. I think if he has the year I expect him to next year, he's going to only go up in the rankings again.
All right. What was the Hoshoryu path? Just for
Hoshoryu was a line straight up, 22nd, 4th, 1st, and then this year.
This year he
dropped
fell.
down to
Oh, yeah.
second.
He went back
That's
to
why I
the-
couldn't.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't pick him. I'm like, I don't think Hoshoryu did it this year.
He got more
he
votes,
burned
but he
too
lost.
bright.
Yep. Burned
He
too
burned too bright too soon.
He got more
Icarus
votes than he
story.
got last year, but he lost in the electoral college.
Yeah. To Mac's point, Wakatakakage, from 2019 to 2022, 35th, 17th, 6th, 3rd. And who knows how he would have pulled this year if he didn't get
Yeah.
injured. All right. There are 2 Rikishi that have been on this poll for all 5 years. These big hit, these guys have been around for a while. and their average placement is 33rd, the lowest among all Rikishi that did not debut in 2023. Because you could have somebody like Kita Nowaka, who finished 35th this year, but he's only been around for 1 year, so that doesn't really count. So name one of the two Rikishi who's been around for all 5 years of the poll, and their average placement on this poll is 33rd.
Miogiryu.
Okay. Mac
Nishikigi.
and Fleric.
Sada no Umi.
Can I get bonus points if I get another one?
No, because
Oh.
Fleric got the other one.
Damn. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Yep, so that's a point for Fleric and a point for Jake. Sada Naumi and Miogiryu, both average 33. One averages 33.4, the other averages 33.6 in the placement every year.
Can I ask where Takara Fuji was? Because that was going to be my second choice.
Takada Fuji, let me find Mr. Takada. He averages 21.8, bolstered. So yeah, 26 in 2019, then 13th somehow, 20th, 28th, and
What on earth?
22nd.
That needs to be investigated.
a glitch in the
that's-
Matrix.
That's funny. That's
Yeah.
I definitely was way off on that one then.
Yeah, so for people that have been on for all 5 years, the next lowest ones, Taka No Show averages 28.6. Oh No Show averages 25.8. Meisei 25.4. Tamawashi 24.8. Then Takada Fuji, Daisho at 21.4.
Nishikigi dropped off?
Nishiki was in Jurio for a couple of years. So Nishiki,
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
He
yeah,
bounced
his
back
average
before he
placement is
decided to be good.
24th. His average placement is
Got it.
24th, 26, 28, and 18.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, I know he's been around. We've seen him since we started watching.
All right, so now we're going to be looking for some consistency, some standard deviation. So there are 3 of our top 10 favorite Rikishi that have a standard deviation of less than 3. Takayasu, Hokuto Fuji, and Taka Keisho. Which one has the lowest standard deviation of all Rikishi that have been on this poll for 4 years or more?
What are the names one more time?
Takayasu, Hokuto Fuji, Taka Keisho. This Rikishi has the lowest standard deviation of all Rikishi that have been on the poll for 4 or more years. We'll start with Fleric this time.
Takakeisho.
Okay. Mac
Takayasu.
and Jake.
Takayasu as well.
That's a point for Fleric.
Ah.
Taka Keisho. He has finished 5th, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 5th with a standard deviation of
Dang.
1.41. Hokuto Fuji was next on that list. He has finished 8th, 8th, 7th, 12th, 8th.
Oh, so it was
for-
just last year that was the exception.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
a standard deviation of 1.95. And Takayasu has finished 6th, 10th, 8th, 2nd, and 7th for a standard deviation of 2.97.
Curse his popularity last year.
All right, and I believe this is my last question. Outside of Abi and Taka Keisho, name one of the 2 other Rikishi whose average placement on the least favorite list lands them in the top 10. It wouldn't be Hokuseiho or Tohakuryu. They've only been around for 1 year. I'm not counting their average.
Who's first on
Average.
this one.
So yeah, so like
Disliking?
Abi's average placement on the least favorite poll is 2.5 because he has a
Okay.
1, a 7, and then 2 more ones. Takakeisho's average placement on the least favorite poll is 4.6. He's 8, 3, 5, 5, and 2.
All right.
So there are
and
2
how many years? All 5?
How did I list it? These guys, one of them's been on it for 5 years, one's been on it for 4 years. But their average placement would put them like in the top 10. It's a number lower than 10.
Okay.
Just name one of them.
Who's guessing first here?
I don't think we started with Jake for a little bit.
Shodai.
Okay. Mac
Mitakeyumi.
and Fleric.
Shodai.
Points for Jake and Fleric. The other name was Ryuden.
Ryuden. I was wondering about the Hoshoryu, but I think he might have taken a while
Yeah,
to
no,
get
he's
on
still
the
too new.
least
I
favorite.
think.
Hoshoryu, so his least favoritism has been rising significantly the past 2 years. He started off 36th, then 20th, then 11th, and now 8th.
There we go.
Terano Fuji would have gotten you close, actually, because he actually has the lowest standard deviation for least favorite placement. As in the 4 years he's been on it, he's finished 9th, 10th, 13th, and 13th with a standard deviation of 2.06.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's all I've got prepared. Congratulations to Jake on winning $20 of my money to be spent on BigSumoFan.com. It is the second consecutive year Jake has won this. I'm gonna have to alter this in some way next year.
Yeah, you're gonna have to base it on something other than sumo knowledge. I don't know how you can do it, but I'm sure there's a way.
We'll find something. Is there anything else you guys are curious about for this popularity poll? Any trends, any data that I might not have gone over? Any Rikishi I didn't mention?
I'm curious to know, how's our listenership grown outside of the US?
I haven't really tracked. Actually, I can look at that fairly
I mean, I know
quickly.
it's grown in the US. I'm curious to know if there are more numbers showing up in other countries.
So this year we had 56.3% of the respondents say USA was their home country.
That sounds about right. I remember it hovering in the 60-ish area.
Yeah. Last year was 59, so we've got 3% more this year than the previous year. It was 56 in 2021, 2020.
That's interesting how close those are, even if it's just those three numbers. Because this wouldn't necessarily tell us like sheer volume of people, but but the proportion is staying pretty steady. It seems like
2020 was about 60%, and 2019. Do we have that?
Yeah, we don't ask a ton of questions there. But
56% once again on 2019.
We tossed that question in just to like see like it's our best feedback we get over the course of the year, other than the people that reply to us on social media and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's cool to have a little bit of demographic information just so we kind of know, is there stuff we should be covering more or less? You know?
I also like to see like, is there one region that prefers a certain Rikishi more than the other? I didn't really dive into that as much this year. One, due to time, and two, due to like most of the like, what country are you from? 56% of the votes from USA. So the other regions have such like a small percentage that it's not really representative. Like, are you male, female, or other? 83% of our respondents are male. So
shocking.
Not getting a whole lot of data from that. The one note that I did do, because I did the gender favorites and gender least favorites, and so if
I'm gonna guess Ura is more popular among females than males. Or
I was just about to say, if you look at the male vote only, Hoshoryu would be number 1 and Ura would be number 2.
Do you want the big angry bad boy, or do you want the soft cherubic adorable little guy?
Yeah. Takayasu for the ladies is 12th and 5th for the men.
I wonder if body hair has anything to do with that.
Yeah,
gotta
maybe.
be.
We like our bears. What can we say?
And then looking at least favorites,
Cleric, you're the Takayasu of Iowa Sumo Club.
There we go. I have some pounds to go, but I got it covered in hair department.
Women would have Ryuden as their number 2 least favorite. And they had Takakeisho as their 3rd least favorite. Men had Takakeisho as their 2nd least favorite. Men hated Hokuseiho more than Ryuden. They had him 3rd and Ryuden 4th.
Interesting.
Those are the only real nuggets that I got from that. Like I said, I didn't dive completely into that data this time because 1, it's very time consuming. 2, we're not really getting a representative set. Like if you get like 16 people responding from one region or one group, it's like, well, I could say it's this group's favorite, but when only 16 people respond, it's not really
fair.
not really fair to say like, hey, old 70 plus people really like Tsurugisho. 2 people voted, and one of them had him as his favorite. So
And one of them was John Gunning.
Yeah. So 70 plus year old's favorite Rikishi is Tsurugisho. I didn't want to do that stuff.
Whatever, John.
Yeah. Any other Rikishi you guys were curious about? Mac, I know you were bringing up Mitake Yumi's name quite a bit.
I'm surprised. He's just been kind of floating in and out. And he used to be one of those guys that was like most disappointing. That's why I was like, okay, where has he been at this point?
Yeah, so this year, like I think I mentioned before, he was tied for 24th favorite, only receiving 4 favorite votes. As for least favorite rankings, tied for 13th there, receiving 9 least favorite votes. So he's just kind of wasn't getting a whole lot. He only received 20 votes total. So he wasn't too far beyond that like don't care tier threshold.
Interesting.
Anybody else you guys are curious about?
I think I'm good.
Yeah,
Well covered.
Nishikigi was the one that I was kind of curious about, but yeah, I mean, we already brought him up. But yeah, I think it's definitely I enjoy that we go over the last year. I always think about different ways that we can expand it and all that, but by the time we get to it next year, it's like, shit, it's mid-December. We got to do something.
We got another one.
We don't have time to do like all these different cross-sectional graphs of different things and trends and all that, but you know, there's still a lot of fun data here, and I think the just knowing that all is right in the world, that Ura is back at the top here, you know, that's what we really needed.
Be interesting to see if Kirishima gets Yokozuna. Does that get him? Well, no, he has to overcome quite a bit because he had 72 votes. Ura had 183, so he's got quite a bit of room to overcome, even with
a big white rope does fix a lot of issues.
Hey, he got Teruno Fuji #1 back in 2020. So
just saying.
Yeah. All right. So that wraps up popularity poll for 2023. We're going to be doing things a little bit different with the popularity poll next year, as far as timing is concerned, not as far as format. We're going to be looking to do this after Nagoya or Aki of next year, as opposed to after Kyushu. It's just a lot easier for us to have one big project between bashos as opposed to 2 or 3 big projects between bashos like we have between Kyushu and Hatsu with our other end of the year stuff. So we're going to move popularity poll to be a little bit earlier in the year and then keep that consistent year to year, so it is kind of a 1 year's worth of data refresh between each basho. So it'll be a little shorter timeline before the next popularity poll. That's just to make things easier on us. But there's still plenty more Grand Sumo Breakdown to be had this year before we start talking about the Hatsu Basho. We've got the popularity poll results here that you just listened to. We're going to have the Grand Sumo Breakdown award show where we're going to be looking back at the 2023 as a whole and awarding awards, which is what you do award
at the award show.
At the award show for the different events that happen throughout the year. And then Jake is also going to be spearheading the amateur award show, where he's going to be going over all the things that happened in amateur American sumo throughout the year. A couple of worldwide events, but obviously focus on American amateur sumo and handing out similar awards there. We're also going to have my Bansuke prediction before the end of the year. So there's still 3 podcasts before 2023 is up that you'll get of Grand Sumo Breakdown. I'm pretty sure Bansuke review will happen after the first of the year, because I think Bansuke comes out like right around the new year.
Let's kick that can down the road a little ways as much as we can.
Yep. And this is also me reminding myself that I need to finalize my Bansuke. I have not done that yet. Now that we don't
get it together, man.
Now that we're like not recording like the week after the basho ends, because I'm delaying when we're releasing the Bansuke episode, I've been cutting it closer and closer to the deadline.
You got to get a new rhythm.
Yeah, especially with doing the popularity poll results. So Bansuke episode's gonna be coming at the same time. I just need to get that crap finalized. So that is going to wrap up this podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can find us on all the social medias. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcast listening service. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We got a blog, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, you can shoot us an email at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com. If you would like, you can join our Patreon for $1 a month minimum. And if you join that, you get access to the Grand Sumo Breakdown Discord. We have people joining all the time. We had a new person join today. Every day there is still talk in many different threads on that Discord. So it is an active Discord. We would love for you to join it if you are interested. And if you would like to send us a voicemail with anything you want to include in it, you can give us a call at 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO. If this is the last time you listen to Grand Sumo Breakdown this year, have a Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year.
If it's not, screw you.
We'll tell you that again in the next.
We'll see you in a few weeks. It's okay.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward.